Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. So this week we have two new patrons to thank, Radioler and Charlie. We really appreciate your support. Big shout out to you too. And as always, thank you Lurks for being our feral venerator of Suroth.
Today's episode is a special post-New York Comic-Con episode. We had so much to savor from Rafe and the actors that we just had to talk about it and release it for y'all in place of our normally scheduled episode. The Wheel of Time panel gave us a lot to gush about, but first we're starting with some gay updates. Rainbow emoji effect, sound effect, rainbows.
Yoo-hoo, Matt, do you want to start us off?
Yes. Gay updates from the Wheel of Time. First and foremost, Rand on the wheel. What is it? Why is it there? And most of all, what the fuck, Kevin? Like, what the fuck, Kevin? Why? Why did you do this to all of Twitter of Time? It's okay. We love you. You're precious. But still.
I was laying down to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing my Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and then I decided to scroll through Twitter, and I saw the alphabet, and I was so mad that I got up from bed and made that image that says "Get fucked, Kevin" in that alphabet. And then I went back to bed.
I tried to stay away from that and it was hard. And it's frustrating because I was actually excited to talk about that, like, Rand on the wheel, because that's an interesting image. But
Oh yeah, it has great imagery, but now it's ruined.
How can you make Yosha Stradowski into an eldritch abomination? That man is an Adonis. And Kevin, you turned him into something from Lovecraft's nightmares. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm like, isn't that like on brand for you?
Yeah, you like that stuff, right?
Yes, that is on brand for me, but eldritch monstrosities and hot men are two entirely different things. One you want to take home to your mom for a nice pot roast dinner. The other you want to use to subjugate the entire human race. Very different things.
I'm just going to say that I'm very jealous of Yosha's abs.
Mm-hmm.
He got shredded for that shot.
He did.
That's pretty impressive.
And I'm really looking forward to like what the scene actually is, because
Mm-hmm.
it just has like the hallmarks of an iconic scene.
Yeah.
Did you notice that it's actually not the only moment in the teaser where Rand is half naked?
No.
Because the first image is also him in the shadow and is like, it doesn't have any shirt on.
Yes, that's right.
So we're seeing him half naked at least twice in this second season,
Mm-hmm.
which should make you very happy.
Yes, it does. The only thing that would make me happier is if they shaved Matt Cawthon.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I don't like shaved head Rand. He looks too much like a skinhead.
Oh,
But
I see. Okay.
Oops.
That's not incorrect. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So it's funny because we got those two shots of Rand half naked. We also got two shots of Lan half naked,
Mm-hmm.
also very much in
Mhm.
shape. So men are getting sexualized in this TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good for once.
we love it.
yeah, because I remember in like before the first season came out, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Rosamund or Rafe that said like men get sexualized way more often in the show than women do. And I was like,
Yeah.
in the first season, I didn't see much of that. But based on this like 12 seconds of footage, I do see that.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
I would love a
Yeah.
montage of land training.
For reasons.
For reasons. Okay, if we are moving on to the next gay update, our badass lesbian sorceress is having a very rough time in this teaser. We see 3 shots of her. She cries twice, which, okay. She seems to be having quite a breakdown in a bath, which is very relatable. I understand that perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also hiding from something with a big knife in her hand at some point. So interesting.
I'm assuming that one's probably some kind of like dream sequence.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Because I can't think of a situation when she would.
A fade, maybe.
But also, they're not inventing, but they're coming up with a lot of stuff.
I actually disagree. Like in The Great Hound, there's a moment where she is in the cottage and she gets attacked by that.
Okay, they are not going to have Drakkar.
It might be a fade instead.
But it makes sense for her, especially if she can't channel, to be with a knife.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
Ladies with knife and sword, I'm not going to say no to that.
Oh, yeah, there's another lady with a sword that we're going to get to in a second.
We love to see it.
And other things that we learn is that Moraine indeed goes to Karen.
Mm-hmm.
We had assumed that, but now we get a confirmation, which is going to be very interesting because the video that she sent at the beginning of the panel, Ross mentioned that this is the city she grew up in, which means that Moraine's family probably going to have a role to play within her storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just kind of love the fact that she did that video. It was very extra.
Yeah.
Did you see like Brave story about him asking Rose to just take a 2-minute video as a greeting and she sent him that instead?
Yeah. As soon as I saw that video, I was like, this has Rosamund Pike's chaotic energy all over it.
Yes.
I knew immediately. And then when I saw the story, I was like, yep, that makes sense.
She just basically called all of her crew friends and say, hey, let's make a short right now.
Let's make a video where I interview my character.
Kat, do you want to give us the next gay update?
Mm-hmm. Breaking news, Sofio Canedo as Swan Sanche is still fine as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So there's that.
We're obsessed.
I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed. And where is she? Is she in Camelin? Is she in the city that I can never pronounce the name of?
Karen.
Karen?
Yeah, it's like the white lady.
Karen?
Swan is there to demand to see the manager of the Blight.
Uh-huh. Of the Blight, exactly.
Hello, yes, I would like to speak to the Dark One.
Yes, please. No, I will not hold. I would like to speak to the Dark One right away. Thank you.
I know he's here.
Yep.
Yeah, and the background doesn't look like Falda. It's not the same type of colors.
No, it's not Falma. I don't think either. So I'm thinking either Camelin. It could be a flashback.
I mean, it could be Tarvalon.
It could be Tarvalon.
So the thing is that in Tarvalon, we rarely have buildings that are short enough to see the roof. And we do see the roof of a building behind.
That's a good point.
And one thing that I noticed is that in the behind the scenes that we got back in San Diego Comic-Con, we had this shot with a person with white hair that may have been in Karen because there's like sun imagery in that.
Mm-hmm.
It does look similar stone. So maybe it's indeed Karen.
Okay, the stone.
Yeah.
The stone in a fantasy series looks similar. Okay.
Yes.
Conclusive.
Listen, in Fama, it's always red bricks.
Yeah.
Conclusive.
I agree with you, Camille. I am with you.
And Falma is very different too.
I'm with you.
They do choose some very different aesthetic for different town.
Yes.
So at least saying it's not Falma and not Falda is not a stretch.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I'm just saying, there must be some vitamins and pussies that make you see things better than I do.
Wherever she is still Rainbow Mommy.
Indeed. James, what's your gay update?
On that note, I just wanted to talk, it's not necessarily gay in itself, but the extraness and amazingness of the Shan-Chan's costumes. Like, if I don't see someone dressed up as Suroth at Jordan Con, I will riot.
Yeah.
Be the Suroth in the world that you want to see.
I ain't got time for that.
This is going to be the title. Be the Suroth in the world that you want to see.
This is it. That's a good title.
Okay.
That's a good title.
I'm just going to say that I saw those nails.
Oh.
And the lesbian in me just,
Nope.
no.
Never mind.
I was gonna...
Nope.
I am staying away from that.
They're removable, though.
Still, no.
Maybe she takes them off to finger herself.
It was an instinctual reaction.
Yeah.
That was my first reaction. And then after that, I was like, okay, I actually love that work. But the first reaction was like, yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
No, I am personally like in love with the gold that they used for the Shanshan's outfits. Like they're all just it's a very cohesive look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the grown on their shoulder pad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's so cool.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's so cool.
There's also, I don't know if it's CG. I don't think it is. I think it's a carriage or something. But on one of the shots when Uno is being brought in front of the Shan-chan, he's like in front of this headed monster. And I don't, it looks like a Grom, but I don't think they would have added CGI to it yet.
No.
So I don't know.
I looked at those different shots, and it's indeed like it looks like a creature, and it's not moving between the different shots compared to like people naturally moving. So I'm guessing it could be like something they put to help with the CGI or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe it's like Suroth carriage or something.
Could be.
Oh, could be.
Because there's another scene where Perrin and Loyal are bowing in that same scene.
Right.
So I assume they're before Suroth.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe. Could be.
Either way, you can tell they got that costume money.
Yes.
They got that budget now. Oof.
They got that Bezos money.
They got that Bezos money.
Put it to good work.
Yeah.
Bezos saw it and said, here, do more.
Do more.
Yeah. Okay. And so last gay update. It's a short mention, but we do have to mention that there was a pretty good question in the Q&A about gender and queerness from Max on Twitter of Time, MNSiles91 on Twitter, about how in the first season they've been able to talk overtly about queer content. Max asked whether there was any intention of doing that with gender as well, because gender and the one power, the relationship between the two of those is very specific. Rafe gave basically a very Aes Sedai answer about how there's a space for everyone in Wheel of Time. He said that what I love about this series is there is a place for everyone in the Wheel of Time, and I'm excited for more people to find themselves in this world, which is nice, but doesn't tell us much. But at least we got a queer question, so I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really happy. It was a sweet question.
Yeah.
Yeah. His answer didn't feel like, you know how sometimes like creators or like showrunners will give like sort of a coy answer to tease people, and it seems like they're just baiting them. Like that was not the impression I got with Rafe. I think it was just that like I don't want to give it away. I want this to be revealed and for people to be surprised and to find out naturally, which I am absolutely on board with.
I mean, he's a big old gay himself, so like
it was a very gay panel. I mean,
oh yeah, very.
The moderator was gay, right? I mean, oops, not to assume.
I don't know. I did not look it up.
I'm sorry. He opened his mouth and like, oh, hey, girl, I know you.
To finish that, I just also give a shout out to Max for an amazing Moraine cosplay, because that was pretty neat too.
It was really, really good.
So good. Incredible.
Next, since we were talking about the Senshin, we can probably keep going with a Gwen.
Yeah.
Since you were mentioning the panelists, I'm just going to say that I especially appreciated Maddie's answer to the first question the guy asked her, because the question was absolutely centered on Rand, and she answered, well, I think being an independent woman is really the whole damn meal, and I love that.
I love it.
The whole damn meal. Like, Madeline Madden is...
I love her.
Like, I'm not saying I don't want to say she's Egwene, because that simplifies her. Like, Madeline Madden is like a goddess of just awesome amazingness. Like, she has transcended Egwene, and she is just on her own pinnacle, and out of everyone in the cast, like, she's probably become my favorite. Like, Rosamund obviously is kind of... Okay, no, she's not my favorite. Rosamund's my favorite, but she's getting there.
She shows that, like, it's only the second season, but I am so excited to see how Madeline, like, how her career is going to evolve, because I feel like she has such a potential, and this is amazing. Yeah.
Totally.
I am so very, very, very excited for how they do, or like how her story goes in later books.
Yep.
Without being super spoilery.
Yep. I can't wait.
And even already in like season 2, I got very pleased by what Daniel said about what he was excited to see in season 2. And he really focused on like Egwene's storyline. And he had some very nice comment about Maddie's acting and how she has a lot in the tank as far as her acting ability goes. And yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And to think, last year, or I'm sorry, it was like 3 years ago, she was the star of Dora the Explorer. She wasn't even the star, she was a sidekick.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a glow up.
It is a glow up. Yeah, I think she's gonna do a fantastic job. I think multiple people from the cast have mentioned already how some of their favorite moments are like about Madeline's character, about Egwene, and I'm assuming it has to do with being captured by the Shan and everything like that. And it's just gonna I can't wait. It's that little like however many second clip of her just like completely distraught. It's just
It didn't last a second.
Not even a second. Yeah, you're right. It's not even a second.
The clip of her screaming
Gosh.
is just like that imagery. Again, kudos on that costume because the collars look amazing. I like how they changed it from just a simple silver collar to like this chest piece.
Yeah.
Me too. I think I was wondering how, I think we talked about this in the episode with Ali, how they were going to show that without like, while still like giving a nod to what it's supposed to look like to book fans and also making it clear to show only fans, okay, this is something that is restraining them without getting into that whole imagery of it. And I think I really like it. I really, really like it. It's almost like a chest plate almost that goes up, kind of goes up her neck. And it's really well done. I really, really like it. No notes, 10 out of 10.
And I don't think this is the moment that she gets collared. I think it's probably her screaming. I don't know. We'll see how it works.
Yeah.
I mentioned in the episode with Ali that they've got to desexualize the Damane as much as possible. And I think I didn't quite like the pacifier looks of the Damane in the last episode. I didn't like how that looked, but I also know that just a straight up collar is very sexualized and something that they should avoid. But like you were saying, Kat, I think that is the best way that they could possibly convey it to us and stay true to source material without embracing some of the more problematic elements of it.
For me, it was less about like the sexualization of it and more about the fact that they're literal slaves on collars.
Do we have anything else to say regarding Egwene and the Shan and related?
So I'm curious, it's not quite related to the Shan, but going back to that other scene where she is in the room alone wearing a white with a gray shift, I'm curious about what that is, because it would be a bit of a departure for the novices to not wear white, but also I don't care. I'm just surprised that didn't make people mad as opposed to people that are upset about 3 seconds of sword fighting.
Wait, why do you say it's gray? To me, it's white. Oh,
there's like a
Is she washing dishes?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I think it is. I think it's an apron that she's wearing. I think it's an apron. I think she's still in the tower at that point.
Because when you look at how it looks a bit similar to what Nynaeve has. And Nynaeve doesn't have the gray thing. Like Nynaeve in the scene with the sword, and she doesn't have the gray thing. So I'm assuming it's just she have an apron or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or maybe they're allowed to like accessorize a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because Nynaeve has that belt.
Even if they did change it to gray, it probably isn't going to bother a lot of the haters because it doesn't threaten their manhood the way that Nynaeve with the sword does.
True. Well spoken. James, do you want to talk about the Forsaken next?
I want to talk so much about the Forsaken. If anyone knows me, they know how much that I love baddies. Like, and I love human baddies, not like Matt, who loves monster baddies.
Look, Vecna, it was just Vecna, okay?
It's just that one time.
It was just the one monster.
It was just that one time at band camp.
Yes, it was just the one monster.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're a monster fucker. It's fine. I love you and accept you. But that bloody hand coming out.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm
obsessed with it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I've tried manipulating that image so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's a woman coming up from a pool of blood. And earlier when we were talking, Camille mentioned that it looks like it might be dreads. It might be, but I think it might just be like bloody, like wet hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm very excited by it because it's just such a visceral image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have the I assume it's the Dark Friend social. There obviously it's not everybody in a room milling about. It's some meeting of like the higher up Dark Friends. But it's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh yeah. I'm so excited. Oh my god. The drama of the hand going up, like just like holding out her hand, like just like help me up. It was dramatic.
Yes. I mean, the blood was already dramatic.
Already over the top, yeah.
I liked Moraine's thing about how we didn't defeat the Dark One. We let his greatest lieutenant free.
I love that they're not making that a big secret.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because that would have been annoying.
Because I think everybody already knew.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't need another big secret surrounding... like, we don't need another big secret like that, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
We don't need to believe for 3 books that Ishii is a Dark One.
Exactly.
So you mentioned the woman coming out of the pool. 2 questions. Do you think it's something that really happened or is that a dream? And the other question is, who do you think that could be?
I think it probably happened. It might be a dream. As for who it is, I don't know. I don't see Lanfear coming out in like a giant pool of blood. I expect her to make a grand entrance or something. Because it seems like she's being born. And like obviously not being born, but like this is how they're showing the Forsaken coming out. Potentially. Or it could be like a fade or something. Maybe it's another titty fade.
Maybe.
We always need more titty fades in the Wheel of Time.
Oh god.
Could be.
I mean, I feel like it is Lanfear. Because I don't know, the energy that whoever it is bringing, it feels like Lanfear energy.
Unhinged.
Yeah, like it feels like Lanfear energy, unhinged. Like that sort of, yeah. It just feels, I don't know, I can't explain it.
What made me think about Lanfear first is also because I'm expecting Lanfear to be the next Forsaken to be introduced.
Yeah.
And maybe they're going to introduce multiple Forsaken next season. I really don't know. I directly jumped to Lanfear because it's the Forsaken that I'm expecting to see the soonest, but maybe they're just tricking us and it's absolutely not Forsaken or absolutely not Lanfear. And,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no.
I kind of hope it's Lanfear, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take some bet before the season comes out.
Exactly.
Anything else to say about Forsaken?
No, I'm just very excited that they're making the Forsaken to be like a real big thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I really like from that teaser, it really feels like there's going to be 2 big baddies, Forsaken and the Sentient. I feel like maybe like Moraine's brand land will be more about the Forsaken while the rest will be about the Sentient.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very exciting and terrifying.
Yeah. They've really upped the scary factor, I think, with the villains. Like they started it with the White Cloaks. It's obvious that they're going that route with the Shan-Chan as well, because they feel very ominous just from the bits and pieces we've gotten. And the Forsaken, too. Like, this is, it felt like this entire teaser was kind of a teaser, like you said, for the baddies. Like, it was sort of highlighting the 2 dangers that are going to be coming. And it's this very real sense of foreboding. And I like that. Like, I'm glad that the Forsaken are being taken seriously. Like, they weren't always in the books. I just think it's more exciting.
And it's fun because they don't mention the Black Aja at all, which I think going to be surprising to the non-reader. Even if I think we see an Aes Sedai on that table because there is someone with a ring.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. I mean, regardless of whether or not it's overt or even like shown of a ring, I think it'll have to be a callback to Leandrin.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about Leandrin, maybe we can switch to the new folks we got to see during that panel.
You're so good at segues, Camille.
I don't know. I'm trying my best. Matt, do you want to talk about Matt?
Yes, I will talk about my namesake.
Mhm.
So we got a little bit of him, and I'm happy with what we got. I'm excited. Some people were speculating over why he was crying in the White Tower. My answer is, of course, he's crying because he knows that he shouldn't have facial hair because that's how he's described in the books, and they've yet to shave him.
Twink erasure.
Yeah, it's twink erasure. It's my perennial complaints. They can make Bail Doman the Dragon Reborn for all I care, but not shaving Matt is a sin. Anyways, I love what we got, and I loved the energy that Donald Finn brought to the stage.
Mhm.
He seemed genuinely excited to be there. He seemed to really know his character really well. It seems, and of course, this is all public PR and stuff, but it seems to me that he really came on the show knowing his stuff and ready to like get into the character of Matt. So like, I cannot wait to see more of him. And back to Leandrin, I wish we could have seen the scene between he and Leandrin.
Yeah.
But like the chaos possum energy of Matt and the dominatrix aspect of Leandrin is just...
Yeah. Just because people who will listen to us may not know the scene we're talking about. So it's not a scene that is out, but people who were at the New York Comic Con panel got access to the scene, and a friend there sent us a summary of what's happening. And it's basically Matt in a cell in the White Tower. And Leandrine opens the door to cell, and Matt say, "You should have knocked. I could have been naked." And Leandrine answer, "My heart flutters at the thought." She has brought him sweet cakes, and he licks some icing of his finger to fluster her. They have some repartee about how they are keeping him safe to make sure the dagger's effect are out of his system, and he says he knows they want something. She leaves, and he pulls the chest away from the wall and keeps working on digging a stone out to get free. So there's a few things. There's Matt and Leandrine having this weird interaction.
I love it.
Me too.
The energy those two are going to have.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. I like that they've continued the through line of Matt being really into older women.
I had forgotten about that.
Like that is very much, which like, I mean, I love that for him. Honestly, Matt, same. I feel you on that. That's you're valid for that.
But I love that he's flirting, and at the same time, he's completely planning his escape.
Yep.
It's very Matt.
I mean, maybe he could get him some poon while he's trying to escape.
Oh my God.
Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel.
James, you have no room to talk.
That's accurate.
That's accurate, yes. But
anyway, what I liked also about this panel is how much Donald Finn was a big Kate Fleetwood fanboy. And that was very relatable too.
Yep. Very much.
How much of him flirting with Leandrin was acting?
Yeah, that's the real question.
I don't think it was that much of a reach.
No, I don't think so. I am really, really excited to see Donald Finn as Matt. He is, and please don't come for me, internet. He feels more like Matt to me than Barney did.
Agree.
And this is nothing against Barney. I liked what Barney did, but he feels more like Matt to me. I'm really, really excited to see what he does.
He can do whatever he wants as long as he does it in that accent.
There you go.
I'm assuming he's not going to do that accent, but I think he brings a different type of Matt, because it's true that Matt in the first few books is broody Matt, is dagger Matt.
Yes.
Which, like, I mean, Barney Harris was able to do it well. But post-dagger Matt is a very different type of energy. And Donald Finn seems to have it well done.
Yeah.
Well, if the internet comes for Kat, they've got to come for me too, because I agree with that. So
nobody's gonna come for you guys. Anyway.
No one cares.
James, do you want to talk about the other character we got to be introduced to?
I do. So I'm going to preface all of this by saying that I hate Elaine in the books. I hate her.
Who's Elaine? I don't remember a character named Elaine.
Are you serious, Matt?
I mean, when I'm thinking of all the interesting characters that compelled me to read further in the books, I don't remember anyone named Elaine.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, you're the bitch that gets up like Saidin and Saidara mixed up. You forget what the powers are. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you forget who Elaine is.
Bitch, how can I forget 30 chapters of bathing?
That's not true. This is not what is in the book. Let's move on. James.
That was my trauma.
So I'm just saying, I hate Elaine in the books because I think she's a whiny brat. And she is. And in this promo pic that they released of Elaine, she could step on me.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
She could step on me and call me a faggot, and I would say thank you.
Wow.
She wouldn't do that. She's too polite to do that.
She's too polite to do that. Far too polite.
She would do that.
I don't know. So, because...
She would call me her subject.
That's true. She would. She absolutely would call you that. Yes, that's accurate.
Which is actually something she did.
She did, yes.
So the other scene that was shown at New York Comic Con was of Elaine and Egwene. So Elaine walks into Egwene's room at the White Tower and says she's happy to not be the only novice starting today, but her room was full of rubbish. And then she notices Egwene's face and realizes that it's Egwene's stuff. And she didn't just move in. Elaine compliments the Two Rivers stitching on the blanket on Egwene's bed. Egwene asks Elaine why she's smiling so much. Elaine says she didn't think she'd be out with the rest of the novices. Egwene is like, the fuck you mean, bitch?
Word for word.
Word for word. Word for word. The fuck you mean, bitch?
Yep.
Elaine says, because I'm the daughter heir. The daughter heir of Andor? You're technically my subject. And then apparently she says, they say some of the greatest pairings in the world were formed between novices in adjacent rooms. Aren't you excited to see what the future has in store for us? I just like this energy. When I see this clip,
I love it.
I'm the daughter heir.
Yeah.
Of Andor.
Of Andor.
How the fuck do you not know me? You stupid bitch.
Exactly. That is absolutely.
Egwene's going to be like, what's Andor?
Yes, exactly.
The Two River part of Andor? I don't know.
I don't like the Star Wars universe.
Hashtag Two Rivers Independence.
No, I'm just saying it's going to be like, I'm going to hate her so much in the show, but I'm going to love myself for doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to love her while I do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to love her. I feel like she's also a bit awkward sometimes.
A little socially awkward.
It's actually funny because before you read that sentence, I was absolutely not getting the same tone of it.
Oh, okay.
I was more like an embarrassed tone, especially since she messed up regarding Egwene's room just before. But maybe she's actually like arrogant and like not noticing that.
I hope she's being arrogant because I get where you're coming from. It could very easily be like, because I'm the daughter heir. The daughter heir of Andor? You're technically my subject. It could be that, but I hope it's more like boss bitch energy. Technically, I own you.
Yeah.
I'm not really excited about Elaine, but I am excited about Sierra because she seems like a really enthusiastic actor.
It's Kira.
Sorry, Kara. I don't know these things.
Oh, I thought it was Sierra too, so good for you.
They said her name multiple times in the panel, and I'm pretty sure it was Kira, right?
I don't know. I've always been thinking Sierra 1-2 step. I love it when you 1-2 step. Look, none of you all, only Kat got that 1-2 step joke.
I did.
Okay?
And you know what? It instantly started playing in my head. Instantly. Before you even said it.
Anyways, I'm excited for Kira.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think she's going to be great.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like her character.
I love what she said about, how Elaine is very quickly humbled by the woman around her. When she suddenly realizes she's not the only powerful woman in the room, which has been a joy as well. I love that all of those actresses get to also work with so many amazing actresses too, and so many women director and a lot of female crew and this kind of thing. It must be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one scene in the Hall of the Tower in the behind the scenes for that episode. The director was like, look at all of these fucking amazing women all in one room.
It was so cool.
And it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because that's why I really fell in love with the Wheel of Time, is because there's so many just badass women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I had highlighted the sentence about some of the greatest pairing in the world were from between novices in adjacent rooms, just because it's the story of Moraine and Svan. I don't know if it's a real thing or if it's canon or if it's a head canon.
Oh, their rooms are next to each other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah.
Because there was a bit where, like, they had a bit hollowed out or something, and...
Yes.
Yeah, and they, like, talked to each other through it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was just curious whether that's going to be something that's going to be referred in the show or not.
Oh my god, maybe that's the moment that Nynaeve is, like, looks directly at the camera and goes, she ate her puss.
Okay, that's one I'll let pass. That was pretty funny.
Okay.
Jim from The Office, straight at the camera.
Straight at the camera. She ate her puss.
Kat, I think you also wanted to talk about Perry.
Yes. I love Marcus so much. He just seems like the coolest dude. And I just, like, it's every time he's just so funny, and, like, I love him so much. I could listen to him talk about Perrin also, like, all day. Because it seems like, I mean, I think this kind of applies to, like, everyone that we've seen so far, all of the actors. They seem to really get their characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they have so many insightful things to say about them. You can tell they really care, and I love that. I really liked hearing him talk about, I can't remember the exact quote, but he was basically talking about how he's gonna have people around him in his life that will show him the two sides of like two different perspectives of violence.
Yeah.
And yeah, which I really I like that they're doing that with Perrin. I'm thinking it's going to be Loyal is going to show sort of like the peaceful side, the more pacifist side, and then Elias is definitely going to be encouraging him to tap into like the Wolf brother side, and I cannot wait to see that whole bit develop. That's going to be really cool and fascinating to see, I think.
One thing that I noticed that he mentioned, I think he mentioned some kind of leadership thing too, which I think was very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially since Perrin isn't really in a leadership position in book 2.
Yeah.
Even when he's separated from Rand. But it seems like since in season 2 he's going to be separated from both Rand and Matt.
Yeah.
He's going to be the main character among the Faldaran.
Yeah, I think it might be, because I don't think they're going to do Huron.
No.
And I don't know that they're going to make Elias the Huron.
No.
So it would make sense that he would be like the sensing the violence of it or something, or helping track them somehow. Like maybe the introduction of his powers are like sniffing.
Yeah.
It could be. And
yeah,
I'm good with that because it makes complete sense. I think they're also going to be kind of accelerating his sort of path to leadership and sort of setting all of that up with you know, what happens later with the Two Rivers and everything, and sort of building that foundation of, so that later there isn't so much of a back and forth with him of like, oh, I have to leave, but I don't want to leave, and you know, because that would be frustrating.
It is exhausting.
It's exhausting, exactly. And so I think that I hope that what they're kind of building towards is by having sort of these two influences in Perrin's life that sort of grounds him a bit, and he realizes sooner that it doesn't have to be either or. Both can sort of coexist, you know, together at the same time. But it's, I really like it. From what he said, I'm excited to see what Perrin's journey is going to be like this season.
I feel like they have the potential of having his character developed in a way that will make season 3, which is going to be the Shadow Rising, so him probably going back to the Two River. That's going to make this storyline make a lot of sense if we get a good progression of his character during season 2.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Imagine that you live in the TV version of Two Rivers. This lady comes and blows your inn up and half the city gets blown to hell. Then you start building and you just get everything right. And then 2 days later, Perrin comes into town, and then the White Cloaks come into town, and then a bunch of Trollocs come back into town after you cleaned all this shit up, and it just gets blown to hell again. Poor Two Rivers. I'm so sorry for them.
Good Lord.
Speaking of exhausting things, there's no Fail until season 3.
Yes.
And that makes me so happy. I know the show is going to make me love her.
Yes, they will.
But I can't have the show make me love Elaine and Fail in the same season. I don't want to be the person. I don't like who that person is. I need change slowly.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, first season made me like Leandrin.
Mm-hmm.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
Not me.
Not me. Literally no one.
Can we just also mention, or like Marcus, when he was asked about like love interest, he mentioned maybe some sort of canine.
A canine? I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm like, how far in the books have you read, buddy?
This is my thing. I think he did that completely intentionally.
I don't. I think he's a big dumbass.
Really? I think he did it on purpose.
I just think he hasn't read. Like, I'm curious about whether he has read the books at all.
If he's read the books.
Because he didn't know about Fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't seem to know at all about her character.
Mm-hmm.
Which means he hasn't read, like, The Dragon Reborn.
He's dealing with the writer's room that wanted to put bears in place of wolves, so...
Well...
Wait, what?
You don't remember, like Sarah Nakamura was like, oh yeah, they wanted to put bears in place of wolves, but we put our foot down and kept it as wolves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this, and I am very glad.
Mm-hmm. It's something that we collectively forgot.
Yeah.
So hashtag thank you, Sarah.
There you go. Thank you, Sarah.
Kat, do you want to talk about Nynaeve?
Always.
There's two main scenes about Nynaeve. Which one do you want to talk about first?
First off, the scene when she's standing in the field is beautiful.
Yes.
And it's not even, I'm assuming it's not even like all of the final editing and everything isn't even done yet. It's gorgeous. Like, she looks stunning. Everything looks gorgeous. I'm thinking that's her accepted test. I'm very excited to see what that's going to be like, because I think there will be notes from the accepted test in the books, but I think that it will be different because show Nynaeve is different. I know that I think before there was like some like rumors that we may see her mom in a flashback or something like that.
I think her mom was cast, yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is, I mean, what better time to show her mom or both parents than in her accepted test? That's what I'm thinking. It seems like she's back in the Two Rivers or something like that. Just from the landscape, it seems like that might be it.
And from how she dress, she's dressing in plaid, which is what is usually used for Two River folks in the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I really hope that the still that scene comes from in the scene itself makes it into the final cut of the show, because that might be one of the most cinematically beautiful shots I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not just in the show, but like
I agree.
The colors, the composition, the shapes, the shadows, it's perfection.
Yeah, it's stunning. And she's like, and I mean, her hair, like Zoe's hair is out and it's like it's
natural and amazing. Yeah.
Oh, it's just like, it makes my like 10-year-old nerdy Black girl heart so happy to see like natural hair like that on screen. And like, it just makes me so happy. I love it. I can't wait. I hope it makes it in.
Which make me realize that maybe it's not the Two Rivers, because otherwise she would have her braid, right?
Right. I'm wondering,
could be.
I don't know if they're going to show the accepted test, because that seems like it's a weird thing.
It is.
Even in the books, it's like a weird thing.
Yeah.
So I think it might be like a dream or something.
Yeah. That's
maybe an homage to her accepted test in the books.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they'll be introducing the accepted test.
I go back and forth with it. I would be very happy to see it, because I think it is like a really pivotal moment, I think, for Nynaeve. It's like for early on Nynaeve anyway, it's a really pivotal moment. But I think just because there's a lot of fucked up stuff that happens in the accepted test in the books, I'm perfectly fine with them changing it up a bit. I would also be totally okay with it being a dream instead, and just like having little like sort of like you said, James, an homage to the accepted test without it being just straight up that. Because I agree, it is trippy. It is a whole thing, even in the books. I love it, but it's a whole thing.
There was one sentence from Rafe in the panel that weirded me out a bit. Is so Kiara was mentioning she was very excited for Nynaeve's storyline this season. And then Rafe, if I understood well, he said, and there are some arches. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did he mean by that? And then he got immediately cut by the panelist. So I don't know whether it was a tease about something or not, because the arches are the accepted test, right?
It is. Yes. It's a pretty, they go through the arches. And so I think we're going to see I think we're going to see the accepted test. That is my personal belief. I don't think we will see both Nynaeve and Egwene's accepted tests. I think that would be a little too much, but I think we will definitely, because I think of the two, Nynaeve's is the more important, if that makes sense. Like it's
the first one.
Yeah, it's the first one, and it has more impact, I think.
And Egwene's accepted test, I think, is basically she's constantly leaving Rand behind.
Yeah.
And there's already one of those scenes that has been used for episode 8.
Exactly.
Which was the scene with Joya.
Yeah, we don't need to see it. We don't need to see that again. I think we actually kind of got what we needed to get out of that in episode 8. And then, shall we talk about the second
yes
scene?
I don't...
Listen. Not you two. Not you guys. I mean, just in general, fandom. Listen. Please go outside. I want you right now, everyone right now.
Go touch some grass.
I need you to close your laptop, take off your headphones, go outside, and please touch some grass. Because it's not that serious. It's really not that serious. We don't know the context of this.
It's 15 frames, which lasts 0.62 seconds.
Exactly.
I had to slow down that, I slowed it to 30% of the original speed in order to have a GIF that would make sense on Twitter. The number of answers, the number of folks that got angry at that in my comments.
Oh my God. It's just, it's so baffling. And the people even the people who are presenting their arguments in a non-asshole-ish way and are saying, well, this is not Nynaeve's character. And I'm just like, it's okay. I promise it will be okay. She's not the same Nynaeve as this is a different turning of the wheel. She can be different. She's allowed to be different.
You can go to the internet and you can see a white Nynaeve looking submissive and your dick will still get hard, okay?
Yeah.
Just because your pee-pee won't get hard for a black lady with sword doesn't mean that you don't have other sources for your spank bank. All of you pathetic basement-dwelling incels. That's what I have to say.
So I just say that not all of the comments are people that are afraid of any kind of changes. There's also a lot of people that just kind of miss the rationality to just look at that scene and just say, okay, this is the only thing we see. We don't have the context. There's no need to panic. Some people will say, okay, I've seen some people say, what if they are replacing the Quarterstaff scene with this scene? I'm like, what is giving you this impression that this is what is happening? I've seen some other person saying, what if they make Nynaeve a Marisuse that can already fight with the sword and this kind of thing? Thus give, basically she has Maxim in her bag. She's not winning that fight.
No. No.
I mean, there's also the whole thing where Nynaeve was whooping ass with a stick back in the Two Rivers.
Yes.
So don't tell me she's not violent.
Exactly.
She's very violent.
She's very violent. It's what's baffling to me is that on one hand, people want to kind of bring Nynaeve down because she's angry and violent and whatever. And so they use that against her sometimes. And then on the flip side, they also think she's this pacifist because she loves, she's all about healing.
Right.
It's neither of those are true, though. Neither of those are correct. She loves her friends very, very much. The people around her mean the world to her, and she will do whatever she needs to do to protect them. At the point that she is at right now in her story, she is either they're going with the block, which I'm thinking they're going to do. Even if they're not doing the block, she has seen firsthand how terrifying the One Power is. She is not, even before, she wanted nothing to do with it. She's especially not going to want anything to do with it now. She's looking for a way to defend her. It makes so much sense.
Right. She's like, okay, I don't trust this One Power.
Yeah.
This bitch tried to kill me with it.
Yes.
And she was raised here with you fuckers.
Yes.
So how about I go hang out with the guys some more? Because a sword ain't gonna run out of magic.
Exactly.
I'm gonna stab you with it, bitch. She's training to kill Moraine, and I love it.
Yeah.
She killed the Trollocs, and then she threatened
Yes.
Lan with a sword, and she got
Right?
disarmed so fast. Bitch, I would be taking sword lesson too.
Of course, it makes complete sense. Like, it's, and also, again, to reiterate, it's like a 0.1 second scene.
No, we have Camille here. We need to be exact here. It is 0.625 seconds.
I'm sorry.
It's 15 frame, and then it's 24 frame in a second.
I love you, Kimmy. Thank you.
I know.
When I was watching this, there were when I was watching the trailer,
Mhm.
there were two things that I noticed. The first, or like on the first walkthrough,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, Suroth snails, holy shit.
Mhm. Yes.
And then Nynaeve with a sword. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can die.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I need to see the whole scene. But
Yes.
that made me happy enough with this trailer because it's Nynaeve with a sword. It's amazing.
Yeah. And also the fact that it's Maxim and Ivan, I'm assuming that she's training or fighting or whatever the case is. I love that. I love that that's like a continuation of what kind of started of her like hanging out with them at the campfire in season 1. I'm genuinely baffled by people who are just all up in it's baffling to me. I don't get it.
For all we know, she just shaking off on them because they are the only persons that she knows in the tower that are not Aes Sedai, and they just like laughed and gave her a sword and say, "Okay, what can you do now?"
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be a very fun scene.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
it's one of my many personality flaws. I'm very vindictive.
Okay.
So I actually kind of want Nynaeve to just pick up a sword because now she's a sword fighter, just to piss off the incel bros.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
It would not affect the storyline.
Nope.
Would it be within character? Maybe not, but it'd be fun. And it'd piss all the haters off, and maybe they'd have some aneurysms, and we wouldn't have to hear from so many of them. So let her have a sword. Let her be a sword fighter. Let her be a paladin.
Yes.
Let her be a tank. Yeah, I don't know those D&D terms.
A paladin. That's a D&D class.
Nynaeve? Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she's a paladin. You would think she would be like a druid, but
She's not a druid. She's a paladin. I love that for her.
Next D&D character, make a Nynaeve paladin. And also, regarding the angry versus pacifics, is as if like she can be an angry bitch, but she cannot be competent with her physical power.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that frustrates me a bit.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to mention? Because we're reaching
that time.
And we've talked about pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. Is there anything we forgot?
Ooh.
there's one tiny ass scene where we see a man in Shanshan armor, and I think that's Turok, and I'm excited to see that because he has the nails.
Yeah. Oh man, those nails.
Since you're talking about Ascension, I love their helmet.
Yeah.
It reminds me of those deep sea fishes with big ass teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love those.
Anglerfish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
It's very alien. Like I like that they look like almost otherworldly.
Because in the books they're insectoid, and honestly insects are aliens, so
yeah.
Totally.
Also, shout out to, I like the symbology of Yosha. I know we talked about it, but we didn't really talk about the symbology of him being on a 7-spoked wheel.
Yeah, literally bound to the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I love it.
The symbology of his nips.
Did we even mention, like, I think we immediately talked about the Kevin mess, but did we even talk about whether we thought it was a dream or...
I don't think we did, no. I think it's a dream too.
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that this exists in the world.
No.
I think this is Ishmael fucking with him.
It's too symbolic.
Which, honestly, good for him.
Good for him. It's exactly, Matt. It's too symbolic. It's like, I mean, it's literally like the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I love that. That's so clever. That's really clever.
In order to break free, he has to break the wheel.
He has to break the wheel. Yeah.
Who among us does not want a Rand Althor Yosha Stradowski strapped to a wheel in front of us?
I don't. He looks too much like
I think you might be alone in this.
If he grows his season 1 hair back, yes. 100%.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's right. You don't like him with the shaved head. That's right.
I was really hoping, when I saw him in all the promos, I was really hoping it was not his season 2 look, but it is. And
It is.
so it is.
But I understand it.
Oh, no, there's a reason for it.
Yep.
He's trying to play dead. He's trying to be someone else. It's fine. I get it.
It's fine.
It
Yeah.
makes complete sense. It's still so funny that the reason that it happened, though, is because Yosha just shaved his head without, like, checking with anyone. And they're like, we still got a film, my dude. And just like, this is what it is now. He's bald. He has a shaved head.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, no, because like between the time he shaved it and between the time they started shooting season 2, there was plenty of time for hairs that show to grow back.
Yeah.
They could have, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queers of Time podcast. If you or a loved one have been hurt by a Kevin in your vicinity, please know that you are entitled to financial compensation. To find out how, continue to listen to our show by giving us reviews on Apple Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Queers of Time and our Discord server. If you're able, we'd like to have your support through Patreon. We've got a lot of nice benefits there, and this helps us cover the cost of producing the podcast and keeping all Kevins at bay. Thank you very much, and have a great week.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.